Okay, so is there any, so like I just wanna get the feeling, like how did you feel like when you got your first shoot or you got your first like casting? Like what did that feel like?
Wow. Okay, the first shoot I got was I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's for a giant commercial.
Yeah, sorry.
It's so unglam though. So basically, that was a shoot where I thought I wouldn't get it. It's really like things where you think you'll get it, you don't get it. Things where you don't get it, you just like randomly do some casting where you get it. So that shoot, it was a very last minute, like I just saw like a casting call. Just, you know what, let me just send an email in. Then they're like, oh yeah, here, you can just come down for audition and this. I'm like, okay, like normal.
Yeah.
So I went down and at some building and they're like, oh yeah, just need you to like sing a random part. Don't worry, your voice not going to be out. It's just for the director to see, and I just need you to pretend like you're very excited over a product because you're a supermarket employee. So I was like, okay, like fun. I just had fun in a shoot. I just do the things I was like, it's kind of like typical commercial, like
I see.
very excited over a bottle of milk, those kind of things. I was like, okay, she's nice. I'll just have fun. Just do something. Then she's like, yeah, thank you so much. I will contact you. So I was like, okay, that's the normal thing they say. Yeah, thank you. We'll contact you, and they will never end up contacting you. Yeah. So I went home and I was like, okay, I'll do my things. Then and I just got a text. I'm okay, maybe they'll be like, oh, thank you now for audition. I just look. Then I was like, oh yeah, I got selected. I'm like, oh, I got selected. I got selected. So it was a shock. I was like, oh, I got selected, and that was like quite a huge shoot because it aired in quite a few countries and it's quite a long airing period. So I was like, wow, I got it. And then after that, I was just like in disbelief for a while. I told my friends, and they're like, oh my god, you're gonna be a giant spokesperson. And then I'm like, doesn't sound great, but I'm like, honestly, it's a really nice opportunity.
Right.
So and the shoot happened the next week. So everything flew past really quickly, and to a point where, like, after I finished the shoot, I'm like, oh, I'm done. Wow, I'm an actor now. Yeah, so it's honestly like quite, like, ooh, but it feels a bit normal but interesting. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite like.
And that was like after like how long of like casting, just to get a sense.
I think it won't be a very accurate description just because of COVID. So I got the shoot in, I think COVID started like the whole circuit breaker stopped in like September last year, around September, October, something like that. So I got that shoot in December.
Wow. So you were like kind of like trying out like emailing places.
Yeah,
for,
it was
kind of
like but it was more of like a chill emailing because I see. Like we just keep telling ourselves it's not our fault, it's COVID. So I got that shoot in June, but I think before that I did like one small one, but it's just like a casual thing. So I think that was about almost around all my friends, like we all got shoots around that time. But I think a few of them got it slightly before that.
I see.
Yeah, okay. So but a few of them already did shoots before LaSalle or during LaSalle. So that was about 2-3 months long.
Okay. Is it normal for like people to have to like cast for very long before they get a shoot?
I think it's based on luck also. I see. It's very like luck because we go through a lot of phases. Like my friends and I were getting quite a lot of shoots from January onwards last year. So she was getting almost one every week. I was getting like two, like one every other week. So I was like, okay, like we got into the motion of casting, auditioning, shoot, blah blah blah. Then for some reason everything just died down for a moment. Like we just like stopped getting shoots. Then Haiton alert. Then Haiton alert came. Then now I just back to no shoots again.
I see.
Yeah, so it really depends on luck. Because sometimes you can get like a whole week of shoots and that pay very well. Then you get like 2-3 weeks of like lull period. Or you just get like a few shoots throughout where it's like okay pay. So it really depends. You can have shoots every day for a month, then you can have no shoot for like a month.
Oh my. Yeah. Okay, wow. So it must be quite depressing sometimes, right?
It is not, because you're like, okay, I had this thought the other day because we haven't had shoots in a long time, I haven't performed. I was like, and I'm working at like as a barista and doing other things. So I was like, so am I paid now just for manual labor? I'm like, what about my degree? Okay, aside from degree, what about my skill set? I'm just like, I got like slightly depressed. I was like, oh no, I'm just doing manual labor now.
I see.
After a while, I just like, whatever.
So I guess like like acting and stuff is not really for someone that wants a very stable career, right?
No, like unless you are in a full-time job.
Or like hired by.
Yeah, which is quite hard as an actor. In Singapore, you can get a full-time like pay if I guess you're signed under agency. I'm not really sure about that. But if you're signed under agency, for example, Smart Local,
Right.
SGAG or Wild Banana, they do get, I think they do get a base pay. I'm not really sure about that. But other than that, if you're not signed as in an agency or in a creative media thing, you probably will just be a freelancer lah.
I see.
So that one, the pay really up, down, down. And unless you have other jobs outside, like you teach or you have like side hustles, or if you're a full-time performer at USS, so that gives you
USS,
like Universal Studios.
I see.
Yeah, so that gives you a full-time pay also. I wouldn't say that exactly is like an acting job. It's more of like a commercial entertainment industry.
Right.
Things like typically what I see on USS, so it's very like high energy. So if as an actor you want to go there, it'll be more towards like host. So you're hosting and things like that. But I think people at USS, they do quite have like a huge skill set. So a lot of them, they jump roles. They are hosts, but they're also dancers. Or
host is like
they talk a lot. Like the Jurassic Park, they have like those
I see.
people over there talking. Yeah, those are called hosts. And or some of them, they swing between host and this thing called skippers. So they wear stilts.
Right.
The one Egypt, the one that jump around, the quite scary looking ones. Yeah, so a lot of them have a lot of skill sets. So if you want a full-time pay, you go to USS, but you do have to do the same thing every day
I see.
for like a few months or a good year. But pay is good lah, and they pay for food, they pay for gym, things like that. So that's the different options you can get as a actor, performer kind of thing in Singapore.
I see. So actually I got a question. I just thought about it just now. But so you know,
I'm scared when you say that.
No, it's nothing scary. It's just like I guess like something that I can't really like, or rather like it's a bit similar to like when I run my own business. Sometimes it's like you kind of like keep working hard, but you don't get the results immediately, right? So how must that have felt?
I think for us, I think we're still at a point where we're still working hard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So honestly, it's really trying to just take things as it is currently. Like even if you get jobs these days where they don't pay well, and it's very common. Like so many clients are lowballing so badly these days. So
because of COVID or?
A lot of people say, oh, client don't have budget. Client don't have budget. Then I'm just like, are you sure? It's a production house. You're not taking in like more, like a lot lah. So to us, they're like, okay, what we can do now, there's two things. One, we can accept these jobs at a low pay. Or two, we will try to negotiate for higher pay. Even if we get rejected, we just leave it rejected. So that we can increase the market rate.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a collective thing.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I don't say a lot, like there's a bunch of people who accept things with a very low rate just because they might be new or they might not be like seasoned actors, blah blah blah. So yes, they have their own reasons, but we're fine. But to us who are doing it for a career, we are a bit like against, like we don't really like that thing because it affects our livelihood lah. Because that really it can be them paying less than double, like less than 50% of what the rate should be.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be easily, for example, a project $1,000, they can push down to 300.
Wow.
And there will be people who are accepting it because they think, wow, 300 a day a lot.
I see.
But it's really, you need to know like how it is lah. And for us, we do sometimes get tempted by these jobs, but we think about in the grand scheme of things, okay, it's really better if we reject and try to push the market rate up to where it is supposed to be at. So at least, not now, but maybe a few months down the road, at least a few years down the road, what we'll be getting is better than what we're getting now. And we'll be getting what is more acceptable. So that's one thing, just like monetary wise. Other than that, a lot of days now we're just thinking, okay, small projects, not paid, whatever. If we do really have to do it because like miscomm between like you and the casting director, we just take it as building our portfolio. Because it's always best, it's also good to build a portfolio, increase the number of jobs, get your name out there. Because sometimes you accept this kind of small jobs, right? Directors or production houses, they'll take notice of you that, oh yeah, she's a good actor, we'll cast them next time. So it's really sometimes just close one eye and like, it's fine. But just have to think about next time. Or just, it's just really thinking about the future. What you're getting now is definitely not what you're getting in the future. So it's really preparing yourself for like better opportunities next time.
Oh, but that's a really long-term play, right?
It's a very long-term play. So for now, we're just doing what we can. Teaching, coffee, F&B. Some people, doing full-time teaching even though they hate it just to save money.
Yeah,
because a lot of us, we had the mindset that we were going to join USS for a good 2 years to have some savings, then freelance. Because a lot of us wanted to freelance because we're like, okay, theatre shows, if you want to do theatre, you need to freelance. So USS, we are okay with it, but we didn't really want to do it because it's the same thing, but actually now thinking about it, it's actually quite fun. So we're like, so we're like, you know what, let's just do 2 years of USS. If we like it, we'll stay longer. If not, at least we build some connections, then we can do freelance. But all of us are pushed into this freelancing thing, like, bye, you don't have any other chance. So we're just doing that and just seeing how things goes.
I see. So do you have like any like long-term plan as to how, like, what do you envision yourself in maybe like 10 to 20 years in terms of your career?
10 to 20 years, I'll be...
Like your goal,
My goal, okay, I'm a kind of person that don't think so far.
Okay,
because
fair enough.
Right now we have a lot of, like, I have like quite, I would say like there's obstacles right now. So it's quite hard to think about the future, and I haven't decided what to do because I like to keep my options open.
Nice.
Like, yes, it is good to have a goal, but I also want to keep my options open because who knows, maybe I decided like, you know what, don't acting, I'm just gonna go like F&B or it's like, yes, I think about opening a cafe next time.
Nice.
But it's kind of something where like, do I really want to do that so near into the future, or maybe like 20, 30 years down the road? So everyone I feel in MT definitely has that, oh, I wish to be on Broadway kind of thing that passed by their mind. For me, I didn't really have that entering the school, but when I exited, I was like, that would be a really good chance lah. Like even as an ensemble, I'll be like so thankful if I can do a show in Broadway. But even if it's not Broadway, right, I really, really hope, okay, just for now, I just hope I can do a theatre show. Because all of us haven't done theatre in so long, and we really, really crave the community, the ensemble work in theatre shows. So short term goal to do a theatre show. Long term goal, hopefully somehow or another we can, my friends and I can do at least a touring show. So there's a few different shows. There's like Broadway, West End, and there's also touring companies where they go to a few countries. So if I can do anything international based, I'm gonna be like, my dream has come true. Like, oh my god. Like, I used to want to join this dance crew based in New Zealand.
Okay.
But I'm just like, okay, realistically speaking, I don't think I'm able to do it because I just didn't have as much dance training as other people. So it's fine. And I do have quite a lot of training in musical theatre. So I'm like, if I can do a touring company, that would be great. Another thing that I'm also considering is I might want to further my studies as well, but it's more studies in more towards the practical side of things. I like acting, singing, just because I definitely need to get my skills up again, better. For that, I don't really want to teach, so that's out for now. Unless I'm like 50 and like I want to educate the next education. Not now. So just really hoping I'll be able to perform on like a good big stage. Like really, there's something like I want to do.
Nice. Actually, that's really quite motivating, especially like to hear this. I guess like I didn't really know like the background of acting and things like that, so it's really quite interesting to hear this. So like something you mentioned also is that you have to keep like improving yourself, right? Like and how do you like have the motivation or the drive to keep doing that?
I haven't been practicing as much as I should. Honestly, it's quite hard to. I mean, like everyone has like their whole time when I'm just like, I'm lazy. I don't want to lazy. So especially with like in school, you're forced to do it, so you just get into a routine. But because you're out of the routine, it's not a habit anymore. It's honestly quite tiring. So my friends and I go through this cycle where, oh shit, there's audition. Oh shit, we need to practice. So we practice intensely for 2 weeks. Audition finish and.
Oh, I see.
Honestly, it's quite bad. But we just keep telling ourselves, we need to go back to a vocal coach. We need to go back to a vocal coach. We just never went back.
Oh, I see.
But, okay, let's just put singing and acting aside. But dance, I would say to improve definitely because I've been dancing a lot. So I've been trying to take more classes, like as usual, open classes. But we've been trying to go back to basics as well. So my friends have been, and I have been taking ballet classes, jazz classes. So that's more like school related things and like typical like stage theatre related things. So that's fine because you're friends. So I'm a very extrinsic motivation,
Actually,
whatever lah, like outside motivation kind of person. So we do a lot of things as a group.
Yeah.
So that makes me like, okay, let's do it. But other than that, we just do try to keep our fitness up. So currently, I really enjoy spinning.
Right.
Yeah,
that's like the
really
craze,
love
right?
spinning.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like it, but I'm like, I like it because it's like loud music and things, and like it gets I can clock my cardio in without feeling like I hate it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, and other than that, we do we get bored of dancing sometimes, honestly. So we really try to do other things related. So I've tried aerial silks. So that's honestly quite hard. I've been doing it for 8 months, close to a year now. And it's quite interesting. It really makes you use a lot of muscles that you've never used before. So honestly, that's good because it builds up a stamina and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm also currently doing pole.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Okay.
So that also helps with fitness. And even though like it's not exactly what we do, but it does help bring back lah. So what I would say is, if you don't have the motivation, discipline to keep doing what you have been doing, try something else that's related.
Nice.
Because sometimes when you're doing that, you realize, oh, I actually kind of miss doing that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I can see whatever I've been doing in a different light. And you can and there's actually a lot of things that are like interdisciplinary. So honestly, you can learn a lot of things from each different thing. So just do a lot of things and go back. Most importantly, when you need it.
Just don't be afraid to try out new things.
Yeah, honestly, that's one thing I've learned. Like, just do it.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. So right now, what we'll be getting into is like more general questions, and also some related to acting, Yeah. So something that's really on my mind right now is, like, would you like recommend someone who is thinking of going into like acting, theatre, the arts? Like, would you recommend that person to do that, or like what tips would you give that person?